Let's talk about practice mode. I want to say practice mode is your friend. So, if I did the math right, we currently have 25 courses in the game, and those total up to 221 different holes. And in each hole, of course, you can have various wind conditions. You can have a left or a right crosswind, you can have a headwind, a tailwind, or any combination thereof sometimes. So, a lot of different possible scenarios you may encounter when you go to play any given hole. And I know from a player survey that multiplayer is the most preferred, most enjoyable game mode. And I certainly get that. I enjoy that the most myself. Um, and if you play enough multiplayer, then you will start to get good at the game. You also need throw-in skills, but that's also part of the learning process and enjoying the multiplayer mode. Um, but what you won't get, at least until you played for many hours, is a look at each one of those holes in those various wind conditions. And so sometimes when you're playing multiplayer, for example, you'll get to a certain hole, a certain wind, and it'll give you a ton of trouble and you just don't know what to do. Remember that, write it down, whatever it takes. And then go into practice mode and pull that up. Let's pull up wind swept number 2. And like this hole, for instance, a left to right wind, very favorable. Most people know if you're right-handed, just take your big bomber, drop a hyzer out there. You're going to be close to the pin probably. But what do you do when it's a wind out of the right? There's a bunch of different options. And it depends on what you have in your bag. What you can do is go into practice mode and restart till you get this particular wind, and then take every disc in your bag that might work and throw it at different release angles, different aim points, until you find something that you go, wow, that's money. So I'll take the Windbreak Glide Cloud Breaker here. It's what I like to use on this hole. Pretty much default aim with this tailwind. And I'm going to come straight back. And this should get me close. Let's see. Yep, that's pretty good. And you practice that until you get that aha moment where you go, that's the disc I should be using. That's the line I should be throwing. So that will accelerate your learning curve greatly. Like I say, you can still get there by playing multiplayer if you play long enough. But this is just a way to accelerate that learning curve. So right now, practice mode has every course except for SG, Sunshine Glade. Not sure why it's not in there, but I'm sure that it will make a return at some point. So uh, now you may be thinking, wow, if I do that, that's just going to accelerate the point at which I get bored with this game. And I will say, trust me, you probably won't get bored with the game anytime real soon. Um, Not only are there a lot of different possible hole/win combinations, but you've got variables like the background wobble, the disc wobble. You've got a wind that doesn't stay constant. You'll notice it goes from like 10 to 11 back to 10 o'clock again. So it's constantly shifting, particularly the strong winds. They shift even more, it seems. You've got ground that's not homogeneous. Sometimes you'll get a skip, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get a roll away, sometimes you don't. So there's a lot of different variabilities that are built into the game that I think are probably on purpose and designed to keep it from becoming boring. If it was a math equation that you could solve 100% 100% of the time, then you would quickly become bored with this game and move on to the next. But I think there's enough variabilities, particularly with distance drivers, that you can't get accurate attribute on. There's enough variability that's going to keep you entertained for a long time, I think. So, but again, the thing I want to emphasize in this video is if you don't have a lot of time, if you don't want to spend hours trying to get good, if you want to accelerate that, practice mode is your friend. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned something. And until next time, we'll see you around the valley.